Right, good morning, welcome back. Now this is a GIVI Top Box or GIVI Top Case. You can pronounce it how you like, but if you choose to argue the way things are pronounced, then remember nobody likes you. Anyway, to me this is a GIVI Top Box, one of the most popular luggage boxes that you can buy. They're actually made for manufacturers. This has got Honda on it, actually, because it comes from a Honda Deauville. If you've got a Triumph with luggage, some of the Triumphs had GIVI luggage as standard with Triumph badges on, so they are a very well-respected luggage manufacturer. And this particular top box was damaged when the bike fell over in a car park. You might have seen the pictures on Instagram. I'm painting the whole bike for someone because nearly every panel was scratched, sadly, and this has all been prepared. And when I was taking the lid off this to prepare it for paint, it dawned on me that the hinges that GIVI use to hold the top to the bottom are not removable in the immediate sense. You can't just unscrew them. They're a little bit permanent. So I thought I'd bring you a short video on how to take the lid off your GIVI Top Box should you need to. I'll show you. Right, just to show you how these hinges are constructed. If you take a look at it, albeit that the top is painted, it's the same material as the bottom. It's basically bumper plastic. And you can see by the colours here that the two top red corners of the hinge, they are moulded into the lid, and the bottom centerpiece is moulded into the bottom. And they are brought together and a pin is driven through the two. It's as simple and uncomplicated as that. So to get the lid off, all you need to do is remove those pins. And there's no apparent way to do it. So I'll show you how I got these pins out when I removed this lid to prep it for paint. As you can see on this end of the hinge, there's the flush head of the pin, and I mean flush. That is absolutely flush with the surface. There's no edge or flange to get hold of and pick at, not even with the blade, and there's no hole in it for an Allen key. That is completely flush, and that is not the way to get it out. So if we can't pull it out, we've got to push it out, which means driving the pins out from the other end. But when you look on the inside, there's nowhere to tap, because the end of if you look at your bike, you'll see the end of these is molded over. There's no hole to tap into. So how do you do that? Well, I looked online and the only piece of advice I could find was actually from the company themselves. GIVI made a little post and it said to put a little tiny 3mm punch on the end of there and punch through the plastic and tap them out. Well, I would be a little bit careful with that. This particular box is 20 years old. It's a 2004 bike, and plastic gets brittle as it gets older. So rather than risk cracking the hinge by beating it with a punch, I actually drilled a little hole in the end of each one. Now there's no space there to get a drill in, so I had to do it by hand. Right, first job, on the end of it, you'll notice if you look at yours, there's a little casting line right across the point where you need to drill. So as long as you're painting the box, then take a little file and just file that little casting line away to make the end of that hinge flat, and it's easier to drill into. Next, the drill bits. Now you need a 2mm and a 3mm, but because you're going to use them with your fingers, they need a special feature, which is these two are specialised, rather expensive machine drills. Perfect for the job because they've got this fat end on to get your fingers on and twist. But if you don't have these, you can make one yourself out of a regular drill, like this. Take your regular drill bit, this is a 2mm, a roll of insulating tape, and just make the shaft thicker as you need it to be by rolling the end of it in enough quantity of insulating tape. And there it is, a hand-operated twist drill. Get a nice grip on that, easy. Right, with our taped drill bit, that braces against the back of the box and it holds the drill bit off just enough so it goes in exactly the right place in the hinge. Then, pressing with your middle finger on the back of the drill and then twist with your finger and thumb. And that will work its way through in a few seconds. There's only about 3mm of plastic to get through. Once that's through, pull it out and then do the same with the 3mm. Push that in till it goes through. Once you feel the back of the pin, pull that out. Now you're ready to drive it out. Now to drive the pin out, you can use a proper pin punch like this, or if you haven't got one, what about using a pop rivet? And there we are, one lid removed. As simple as that. Tap, tap, each end, and out they come. Now, if you're not painting your lid, if you're simply swapping colour and you want to sell the old one and it's immaculate, then protect everything with tape so you don't scratch it when you're banging stuff. And these little holes you drilled, well, why not fill them in with a bit of clear silicone or something, just to stop the moisture getting in. When you come to replace the lid, put it in place firmly, slide the pin in, and it will stop when it gets to the little knurled area there, and just tap that in gently with a £1/2 hammer. Again, protect everything with tape, and you've made a nice job, and you haven't beaten through the end of it like the advice that I saw. There we are. Simple, effective, and quick. See you next time.